I don't know if it was intentional. I think it's just how it happened. But now that I think about it, maybe unconsciously, it was intentional.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
You guys are setting a bar pretty high, I find, which is cool. And what is really fun about this album, and you know, we had that in the previous album as well, but is there's so many things, you know, woven or weaved together on this album. There's people. It's always hard to label bands, but you know, people like to use either prog or sludge with you guys. But the moment that I put on the album, the first vibe or feeling, like it's not really a genre, that came to me was like, this could also be like a really epic soundtrack to a spaghetti western. And I know it has nothing to do with that whatsoever, the story. But do you feel where I'm coming from? Like that, those kinds of sounds and atmospheres that were being built from the first notes of the album?
Yeah, I just watched Fistful of Dollars the other day. So I mean, I'm a fan of the genre, but yeah, no, it's I get that. And yeah, we're definitely all about like exploring whatever we feel like is necessary for the song, and trying to not have any boundaries, you know.
It is a concept album. You are telling a story, but unlike some other concept albums, they often become one body of work that flows almost from start to finish, where for this album, it still very much feels like it is song-centric, that it's not, oh, every song is just another step in this one big piece, if you will. So that's really important. Then, like, the songs need to come first. They have to stand on their own legs, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. That's always something and with this album too, like we really wanted to focus song by song and kind of create hooks. We were focusing a lot on hooks, you know, and we wanted that with each song and not worrying about what genre it was. Like I said, you know, trying not to have any boundaries with it. So some of it's like death metal, some of it's I don't know, really pretty. It's all over the place, but
yeah. You just came back from playing European shows with Conan, and that you played some of the new songs in that set already. Is it that having a song-based mentality, does it also help you to kind of just build set list as you go? Because I can imagine, especially if you have a story that talks about getting closer to death, it's kind of weird to play first a song about, you know, the actual death, and then later in the set a song that's actually happening earlier in the journey, right? So what was it like, you know, bringing these songs into your set list?
Yeah, it was really fun. We really did kind of like, for that tour, a little bit of everything from our career. We did songs from every album and kind of wanted to span the whole career. And generally we did do the new ones last. And in between the Mysterium, Tremendum. So it kind of started with each album, actually. We started the set with the first album, kind of went through it like that chronologically. But
yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional. I think it's just how it happened. But now that I think about it, maybe unconsciously it was intentional.
Having just done this tour and seeing again really firsthand what works really well and what not always, do you already know what is going to be sacrificed to make room for the newer material?
Yeah, I would say that the next tours, at least half the set will all be new, if not a little bit more. And we want to do some more off of the last record too, Mysterium, Tremendum. We only did a couple of songs off of that on the most recent tour, and a lot of people really like that record and were asking us why we weren't doing more songs. So we should do more. But I mean, our first record, Summon the Faithless, just had its 10-year anniversary, so we were doing a bunch of songs off of that.
Right.
But maybe we'll do less in 2024 off of that, and more new ones and more from the previous record as well.
Yeah. Now, you guys are not necessarily a band that is, considered like building stage presences like a Kiss or an Iron Maiden would do, with costumes and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
However, as the creator of this story, once album 3 is there and you've got this whole story out, is it like, is there at all a bit of a dream to turn those 3 albums into a big production stage show that walks us through the highlights of the journey of the dreamer, with the necessary?
That would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that if we had the budget. That's kind of all about if enough people are showing up and we had a budget for it. That would be amazing. Love to do that.
There's twists and turns here, and you guys keep us on our toes. Like, it's not because we just heard one song that we can predict what the next song is going to be. That seems to be an approach or a mentality that we see more and more coming from the Portland scene, if you will. Like, there's a couple of really exciting bands around. You guys, Silver Talon on the power metal side, Bewitcher on the more blackened thrash or what have you. But all of these bands refuse to stick to a stereotype, or they like the color outside of the line. Is that just a massive coincidence, or is that just part of the mentality in the scene over there?
I could say, it's probably part of the mentality. There's so many great bands from Portland, and I think that that's sort of a thing. Like, people don't want to necessarily follow trends or do stick to one thing. I mean, any band. Yeah, actually, Bewitcher's going to play our release show. We love them. They're great, and it was difficult to figure out who we wanted to open it, because there's so many good bands, and it's so many bands here too are touring and putting out records, and they're not necessarily opening bands either anymore. So it's it's getting harder to find smaller bands, but some good friends of ours are going to do it, called Glasgow. We're really excited about it. It's going to be an awesome show.
You already said we've got US shows coming. We know that we're gonna see a little bit more of the new album represented there, but what at this point can you share about what to expect from this tour?
Lots of there will be a new merch, and playing a lot of these songs for the first time, which we're excited. We did do a few songs. We know what really works well, but we want to try out other stuff. We like Mysterium, Tremendum. There's a lot of songs we can't do. We really overdid it with that record, with putting too many layers on there. There's lots of parts where there's 4 to 6 guitars happening at all times. We can't really do that live. But this record we purposely tried to write to make sure that we could do every song live, and without any problems or any extra guitar players or whatever. So that's the thing. We could do some of those on Mysterium, Tremendum, but we'd have to have some extra friends play guitar to make it work. But maybe one day. But so I'm gonna try out a bunch of songs and know what we know that already works, and it'll be great. We're really excited.
Awesome. Now, you guys were just in the UK tour, and although you guys aren't something that is very clearly defined, that fits a very specific box, but people are going to loop you in with the sludge, stoner, doom, a fuzzy, psychedelic, acid, fuel, whatever, and that whole kind of group of sub genres together is really going through a golden age right now. There's so many great new doom bands and sludge bands and stoner bands popping up. There's fantastic comebacks as well, and reissues, and all that kind of good stuff. Traditionally, this sound has very much been an American West Coast sound, north to south, and obviously the desert flavor to that as well. But and this tour in the UK is a good example of that. It's no longer just a West US thing. There's doom is exploding, it seems, everywhere. In Europe, in Italy, there's great new bands. Scottish bands are all of a sudden, being hyped. what's that like for you to kind of like being part, being in the trenches, if you will, and seeing that? Like, are you seeing when you put out new stuff, new singles now that you are? It's very easy to track these days through Spotify and YouTube. You can just click one button, get a report, and see like, oh, your listeners are here, 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 and here. Like, are you seeing that evolution as well with this new material?
Yeah, I think so. It's just getting bigger and bigger for sure. We had like the best reactions to almost any tour actually on this last one. So many people that seem to know not just like the last 3 records, but even the new stuff that's only been streaming. So I was like, cool, man, people are really paying attention. That's great.
Up here in Canada, should we keep our fingers crossed for Canadian dates as well?
Yes, we love Canada. I would love to come back and do like a full Canadian tour, but only in the summer. Almost every time we've done anything in the spring or winter, we've almost flipped our van. So summertime.
It can be pretty tough here in the winter. I'm not gonna lie. Awesome. Well, I hope that. I think that you safely arrived at your destination.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. So I know that I'm standing in between you and being home. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. We'll keep our eyes open for announcements of shows, and then also at the right time, more information about that 3rd album that hopefully won't take another 5 years to be released.
Absolutely, it should be out before that.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.